Aloha. Welcome to, sorry, I'm just trying to get stuff finished set up here. Welcome to Geography 1500. This is World Regional Geography Online. This course is completely online. You do not have to be in Hawaii or come to campus for any reason. I'm just going to take a couple minutes and quickly, sorry, I have 1,000 things open right now. I'm working on a bunch of different stuff. Okay, anyway, so I'm just going to quickly go over the syllabus, do a quick introduction to the course website, and then another website that we're going to use. It's called Lizard Point. Okay, so this is Geography 1500, World Regional Geography. My name is Carrie Littlejohn. This is completely online. I don't really have an office on campus, so we're supposed to put office and office hours. If you are on campus, you want to chat with me, send me an email. I'm pretty much on campus only for a few hours every week just to go and teach one other course. I'm a adjunct lecturer. I work full-time at UH, just to give you a little bit of background information. I work full-time at UH. I'm a data analyst or researcher there on a child welfare project, which is not my field of specialization. I have a PhD in geography, more specifically behavioral geography, and I have a master's in sustainable development, environmental studies, and policy, and another master's degree in teaching, curriculum, and education. And then I have my bachelor's is actually in Spanish and bilingual education. So if you are in undergrad thinking this isn't really what I want to do, what am I going to do later, what am I going to do with this degree? While I do not recommend collecting a whole bunch of university degrees, especially with the cost of tuition today, it is possible. You are not locked into anything. So anyways, I've been teaching this course now for several years, for probably about 5 years. This is the second time I think it is, maybe third time I'm teaching this course online. Anyways, I try to structure it pretty much just like a normal lecture class as if you were on campus. It's a little bit less interactive just because I'm talking to myself in my office or my bedroom rather than if we were actually in class and able to engage in discussion. But anyways, I hope you enjoy it. Please send me an email if you ever have any questions, you're confused, you're lost, anything you need. Okay, so just to kind of go through some stuff quickly. So the required textbook for this course is Globalization and Diversity. You can get the e-version of this. It's a Pearson book. You do not need to pay the extra to have the Mastery in Geography. You can have a loose leaf. You can have a used copy. I don't really care. You can get a newer version. I'm actually not sure. There's probably is a newer version, but this is the version that I've been given. They don't change very much anyways. We'll also be using our our Blackboard page, and then we'll be using Lizard Point, which I'll show you here in a minute. And here's the website for Lizard Point. You can get the book at Barnes & Nobles. You can also get it online. Course overview, you can go ahead and go over this, and then the specific learner outcomes, you can go over this again on your own. All of this, blah, 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 sorry. Stuff kind of have to put on. Anyways, online modalities, hardware, you can go ahead and read this. Basically, this is an online course. If you haven't done an online course before, it really depends on you. I will check in with you the first couple of weeks and make sure you're doing okay and you've figured everything out. But it depends you and your self-discipline to get a good grade. And this class, the classes that I teach online, it's easy to get a good grade. You just have to put the work in. And everything will be due Sunday, 11:59 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time. Okay, so anyways, and that's, sorry, it's right here, it says that. And then of course, the new module starts the next week. So we have 15 weeks, which are 15 modules. 2 of those modules are actually only exams, midterm and final exam. And then there's other assignments, and you'll see I've set it up pretty easily for you. So here we've got, you're going to have PowerPoint-based videos of the class lectures that I recorded and have uploaded to YouTube. Surprisingly, because I can track and see how many people actually watch these videos, it's really kind of disappointing, I have to admit, for the amount of time that I put into these videos to see that such few people actually watch them. You have weekly reading assignments, which will be in your course text. You have a discussion board participation element, and then you're going to have a reading question, which is basically a reading quiz based on the required weekly readings. So there's 2 exams. There's a midterm and a final exam. They are non-cumulative, meaning that, so this is how you're going to be graded, meaning that, for example, we do chapters, I think 1 through 6. 1 through 7, and then you have your midterm exam, and then you have the second half, so chapters 7 through 12, and your final exam is really only on chapters 7 through 12. It means that if there are key concepts or vocabulary terms, we might build off of those if they come from the first half of the book, but I'm not going to specifically ask you a question that pertains to those, like define globalization, which we talk about in the first chapter. I'm not going to ask you to define globalization in the second half of the book, or in the second half of the class in the chapter, sorry, in the final exam. We have map quizzes, which will be on Lizard Point. As long as you get a 70 or a 7 out of 10, 70%, you get 100%. That's open note, open book. This is really easy about the online version of this course, because if you were actually on campus, you do not have the option of having online open note, open book. So this is definitely easier for this course. That said, I do have a couple other quizzes that I also ask you to complete all through Lizard Point, a couple like generic geography type of quizzes. You will get a specific username and password from me. It's going to be like geog 1500 spring 2019, and then your password. Everyone does have the same password, but you will have a specific number. So if you're the first person in the class, you're going to be number 1, for example. So it's just specific username. You have to sign in with this specific username and password. Otherwise, I won't be able to see the test that you've completed. So basically, usually once a week, at the most once every 2 weeks, I'll sign on and look, okay, did this person complete the quiz? 10 points into the grade book. As long as you got the 70 out of 100. You can take them as many times. There's also different modes. There's like strict and practice. I don't care which mode you take. Just get the 70 out of 100 and get them done on time. You have geographic analysis assignments. There is a small section on the back of each chapter, and it is called geographic. Actually, let me just get. Okay, sorry, just let me grab my book real quick. The specific, just so I do not lead you astray. Okay, it is called data analysis. It is like I don't know, like a marine blue, but it is on the very last page of every chapter, and it is a little blue box called data analysis. It's got 1 paragraph and 3 questions, and usually it will tell you to go online and find a specific website and then answer those questions. You have to complete 4 of those, and then you'll see here in the back of the syllabus, it tells you which ones you can pick. And then the 5th one, if you want to complete it, is worth extra credit. It's worth the same amount. This is a really great way to get extra credit. Mental maps. We're going to do mental maps every week. This is basically the discussion element. It's at the beginning of the unit. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. It's largely stereotype based, but I want to get people's perceptions of a region just to kind of have you think about these regions before we actually start learning about the region. So you have until Wednesday of each week at 11:59 p.m. to answer the question based on this region, based on your own opinions. And then I'm going to ask you to respond to 2 other students' responses of their mental maps during the second half of the week. Okay, I'll work. We don't really have a lot of writing assignments in this course, but this is just here. You do have some stuff you need to put online. Again, I'm not really looking at a specific length. When you answer the mental maps, I would just recommend just copying, having a format, and then you can just go and fill in, including the questions. For the geographic analysis assignments, my recommendation to you is if you want full credit for this, because again, basically, if you do it, you get full credit. Is what I'm looking is that you've actually put some thought into these. You've answered the sentence in complete, you've answered the questions in complete sentences. Let me find, for example, okay, here. So one of these, okay, so for example, in one of these, it says, do rich countries emit more CO2 than less wealthy countries? Use the GNI per capita from tables in the appendix of this text as a measure of wealth for each country. If you just write yes or yes they do, you're not going to get that great of a grade. But if you say, yes, rich countries do emit more CO2 than less wealthy countries, and give me an example or add on to that a little bit, you're going to do a lot better. If you just say yes or no, um, I mean, I'm just looking for complete senses. I'm looking that you took some time and you took this seriously. Okay, here's a big one. No late assignments. If you miss a reading quiz, SOL. So I've set this up where it will close to you. So if you start the reading quiz at 11:50 on a Sunday night, you have 9 minutes to complete it. It will let you open it. If you start it 5 minutes after or 1 minute after 11:59, you shouldn't even be able to open it. But it will show up as a late assignment. I can't remember. I don't know if Blackboard actually kicks you out, saves it and kicks you out. What I recommend is doing everything ahead of time. If you have a technical problem, if you have something, don't wait until Sunday night and try to do things. It is a huge, so basically it comes down to conveniently, but inconveniently, Blackboard is a really big pain to try and reopen these quizzes. It's virtually impossible for some reason. It's like a technical, non-user friendly, very unintuitive. But make sure you get these in on time. Yeah, that's the bottom line. If something happens, I've had students, a mother pass away or a family member pass away, whatever happens to be, if you're a student athlete, totally fine with that, no problem. Not going to make exceptions for student athletes because it's an online course. You can take it, and wherever you happen to be, you can take it ahead of time. If something does come up, if you do have a family emergency or you have some other type of emergency, please reach out and let me know. And do let me know as soon as it happens. Don't wait until after it has happened. I mean, obviously, you can't foresee somebody dying, but don't contact me 2 weeks. Don't disappear for a week or 2 weeks. They're like, oh, yeah, there was a death in my family 2 weeks ago. Can I make stuff up? Just say, there is a family emergency. I need to take care of. I'll let you know. I'm going to have to miss the stuff this week. Can I get in touch with you next week? I understand. Okay, so how you will be graded. So exams are worth 45% of your grade. This point is just an estimate, but I should actually remove that because I think the points are different. The final exam is worth a little bit more. Map quizzes, those are worth 15% of your grade. A geography analysis assignment worth 15% of your grade. So you have the option here with a whole extra one. You can get multiple, it's probably about 4 extra points. Reading quizzes. So you have reading quizzes. You're based on your course textbook. They're worth 15% of your grade. If you get more than 50% on all of the reading quizzes, I'm usually lenient the first couple of weeks because those ones are a bit harder. If you get more than 50% and you actually complete all of them on time, then I go ahead and bump that grade up to 100%. So if we're looking here that you get everything in on time and you do these, right here is 45% of your grade. And mental map, take 5-10 minutes every week and do it. This is 55% of your grade. So even if you fail both exams and only get, which nobody's going to do, but if you only get 50% on your exams, you're still looking at 75% in the class. So again, as we would say in Spanish, pilas, basically means, it means batteries, but it's kind of like, put your thinking cap on. Realize that this is a really easy opportunity to get a good grade. Here's the grading scale. This is per HPU policy. Okay, so here everything has been divided out for you. Do not write me and ask me what chapter we're doing this week, what test you have to do, what quiz you have to do. You have all of this information. That is a huge pet peeve for a lot of professors, and it's amazing that whether or not I say this, every single semester I have students who will write and say, what do we have due today? You have a syllabus. I took the time to fill this out. Take the time to go back and read it. I do have the right to modify anything. I will never modify anything that will count against you. Usually if something comes up for some reason, which normally never does in an online course, but if something does come up, then I might, say, okay, well, don't worry about the quiz this week. Okay, so here it's broken down. You can see the first week, we're going to cover course intro, chapter 2, And then this one's a little bit wonky because it's the first week, but basically here you can see we're going to do Module 2, Concepts of World Geography. You're going to read Chapter 1. You have lizard point quizzes. These are the quizzes you have: definitions, climate, definition, maps and measures, definitions, geography, and definitions, water features. It sounds like a lot, it's not. And then mental map, what is geography? The third week, Module 3, we're doing North America. You've got a reading quiz based on this chapter. Based on this chapter here, you have a mental map. You have read textbook Chapter 3, and these are the lizard point quizzes you need to do. North America, bodies of water, U.S. states, and I'll show you where to get these: Mexico, federal states, Canada, provinces, and territories. And then you have your first geographic analysis too. Basically just goes down, it lists everything out for you. Here we have spring break. You can work ahead, you can do whatever you want on spring break. Basically, this is saying at which pace you have to go at a minimum. You could, except for the fact that you need to go back and write responses to the mental maps on the discussion forum, you could pretty much fly through and finish the course in a week if you wanted to. Sorry, this page just got all wonky. Okay, so here's just kind of a summary to remind you everything. Reading quizzes are due every Sunday at 11:59 p.m. Weekly discussion. Here's your first post and your follow-up responses. Exams Sunday and then Wednesday. It's just kind of the middle of the week. Geographic analysis assignments when they are due. And here you can pick chapter 1 or 2, 3 or 4, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then for the extra credit one, you can pick any chapter you have not done so far. There's spring break. Other holidays like Tuesdays or Fridays or Mondays off, we don't do anything because this is online. Virtual classroom decorum, basically be an adult, act like an adult, just be respectful of other people. Do be slightly, now I know when it comes to the mental maps, for example, we are talking about stereotypes. If I ask you, what are the people like from this region? Be respectful, right? Obviously, we want to go on your perceptions, but you can say, I think the people are poor. You don't have to, there's different terms that you can use. Here's a couple of resources: ADA accommodations, counseling, behavioral health resources that the university asked me to put in. Okay, and so here's our course page. You can go here, click on syllabus, and you will find the syllabus that I just covered. You will find right here. Come down here for course content. Sorry, my computer's not very fast. Or my computer is, my internet's not. So here is the rest of the semester. So you can come up here. Week 1 is just slightly different. We kind of take a little bit of a slow transition to get adjusted to everything. So here is basically welcome to the course. Here's what I want you to read. I do ask you to do something. If you have taken another online course with me, you've already done this. Sorry, you can fly through it again really quick. And then here's chapter 2. Here is the introduction video. This video you can click on here. And I'll also send this in a message or an announcement. Here's your chapter 2 lecture this week. There's only one, it's a little bit shorter. And then here are just a couple other videos if you want to get a little bit more familiar with Blackboard. So I'm going to ask you to do this really quick Veil tutorial. It's called, it's Virtual Academic Integrity Laboratory. Submit it here. Here are the lecture 2 slides, chapter 2 slides, and then self-introduction. So this is a link to our discussion board. So I already for this week, I asked you to do a short video of yourself. So you can click on here and see my video. I'm going to go back up here and just show you another week, which is a little bit less extensive. Let's just go pick Caribbean. Okay, so here's what we have for Caribbean. It's a little shorter. You can see read chapter 5 from the assigned textbook. Watch the lectures, part 1 and part 2, and then complete this, your mental map, a reading quiz, assigned lizard point quizzes, and geographic analysis. So here is the link to your reading quiz. Here is the link to submit the geographic analysis. Here is the lecture slides, and then here are the questions for the mental map. And you can click on that, and it will take you to the mental map, which the questions should be in there. Okay, I'm sorry, they're not. So then just create thread, and then answer your questions there. You can also get to the discussions by here. And then Grade Center, I will post your grades. Your grades will be posted. The Blackboard Grade Center I don't trust it. So it kind of gives you a decent representation of your grade, but I do export everything from Blackboard, calculate it in Excel, and then put your final grades through Pipeline it's called. Okay, so here's a Lizard Point, lizardpoint.com. You can do /geography if you want. You will sign in using the username and the password I gave you. And then here's where you're going to find all of your quizzes. So if there is I don't think we have any world quizzes. When it comes to Africa, you will see the African quizzes here. So we, again, have broken this down into regions. You will, for Sub-Sahara Africa, you'll have to do like South Africa, Central Africa, Eastern Africa, and Western Africa. Northern Africa would be on a different quiz. The Americas, so here's where you will find the Americas countries. So I can't ask you the Americas countries because there's not a lot of them. Caribbean, this would be for the Caribbean quiz, but you'll be able to find here, for example, North America, bodies of water, this was one of yours. The Canada map, provinces and territories. Mexico, federal states, that's the other one you will have to do. South America, it's located in here. And then the other one you're going to do that you saw, especially in the first week, was definitions. So definitions, climate definitions, process, maps and measures, geography, water features, these are all in here. And then custom quizzes, there are a couple, for example, Russia, it's not included. I actually have to go in and make my own custom quiz. So you should be able to come in here, custom quiz, find custom quizzes. I can't do this quite yet because they only are available for like 5 weeks, I think it is, 6 weeks. I'll wait a while. But you will be able to come in here and then you can see mine, and I'll give you the directions later saying it was created by K little j, and then come and click on the quiz here. Okay, let me see here. I'm trying to think what else I need to show you. I don't think there's anything else. We covered everything in here. Okay, so I will let you go. Please let me know if you have any questions. But yeah, that's it. So yeah, do let me know if you have any questions, if I can help you with anything, even though I'm not on campus. I am available. I can always Skype or chat by phone as well. Anyways, have a great day. Welcome. I hope you have a great semester and we can learn from each other. Bye.